I accidentally hit end the video. I'll go back and title this later. I did not mean to hit finish. But here we go. There's my vent. So if I cut onion, I'm just going to lower that. If I cut onion with that vent, it doesn't make me cry. I discovered that by accident one day. That I realized I had cut onion and hadn't cried. And I thought, how did that happen? I was cutting it where this vent takes the fumes away. And I'm like, well, look at what I have discovered. A way to cut onion and not cry. Cut it with your stove vent on. Sorry that ended. It slipped in my hand and I hit the stupid button. Now my water over here is boiling, so I'm going to take my, woohoo, there it goes. Alright, take my lid so it calm itself down here. Stop going crazy. I'm trying to get this out of the onion. There we go. Okay, so here we go. Yep, see there, he's going to town. Then I'm going to put in these noodles. And this is 3/4 of the package, so this is 12 ounces of linguine noodles. You can use fettuccine, you can use spaghetti, you can use whatever noodle you want. It's really all the same. These are just thinner than fettuccine. And I like to break them in pieces. You can put them in long if you want. But I like to break it in pieces because it's just not so messy. So I break it in about thirds. Ow, that was hot. Splash water on my finger. So I'm going to pull the rest of this out. Here we go. And if you like to twirl it and have the long noodle, you know, you can do that. I'm just lazy. I break it. Okay. Now let me stir that. And I'm going to cook that 6 to 8 minutes, it says. So let's let that. Let me set this timer over here for that one. There we go. Now, I got my butter melting. There. And this, we will need, let me find my recipe over here. About 3 tablespoons of chopped shallot or onion. This is a Vidalia onion. I like those because they're sweet. I put Vidalia onion almost everything. Sweet yellow onion. I have bought shallot before, but I will tell you, shallots are expensive. It's a little tiny kind of purplish onion. Not those big purple onions, but it's barely got a purple tint to it. But I'm telling you, to buy that little onion, those are expensive. Like, I don't need a fancy onion. No. This onion will work just fine. Now, in fact, like I said, you can leave out the onion if you want to. And all I do is take and make hash marks in it. Like this. Can you see what I'm doing? Barely. There you go. I take and make half. And I know the real way to do this, you cut it in half. But I'm not going to use that much of it. I want it to stay together. So I do it my way. Cut it in half, lay it on its side. You got a flat side, then you can slice it. I do that if I'm going to cut all the onion. But I'm not. I need 3 tablespoons. Now my butter's about melted, so it's just about time to put the onion in. And you don't have to be that exact either. And I cut it real small because you don't really want big chunks of onion. You just want the flavor. So I got little. Ooh, that butter smells good. You know, cooking onion and butter smells real good. Okay. I haven't put the onion in it, of course, but it's gonna smell even better. Okay. Here is my little chop. Like I said, I don't even bother to measure it. You know, it's probably a little more. Who cares? It's gonna still be good. You know, putting an amount of onion in there doesn't have to be that exact. So I'm gonna turn that up a little bit so it will sizzle. Then I'm going to put that onion back in its bag. Set up. That pan is just spitting water everywhere. Get rid of this. Okay, so now let's get a little spoon. If you want something good, butter gets your attention every time. It does mine too. This is like Paula Deen. What's that got in it? Butter? Yeah, okay, I want it. Okay. Stir. Yummy yum. Okay, don't let that sizzle a little bit. I'm going to turn it up some more again. Okay, so then we're going to see what we're going to do next over here. This is going to call for, let's see, some half and half. Now this actually has, this recipe is actually meant to be a low-fat Alfredo. Because I think regular Alfredo, you use a whole lot more butter than that. And you use full, like, whipping cream, heavy cream. This only uses half and half in sour cream. Now the recipe asks for low-fat sour cream. I will tell you I've never used low-fat sour cream. I use the full-fat sour cream. So it is not completely low-fat, but it's lower fat. A little bit lower fat. But if you want to use low-fat sour cream, you go ahead. But it uses half and half. So I'm going to measure that. It says I really need 1.5 pints for the recipe that I'm making. So I'm going to use this measuring thing here. That's 3 cups. You need 3 cups for this amount that I'm doing. And I'm going to put it in the microwave and get it started getting warm. Because it will cook faster. There we go. Had something else on there already. Okay, we're sizzling. Look at there. Now, once you get that sizzling where the onions are softened, we're going to add, now this calls for a clove or a clove or 2 of garlic. I don't normally put garlic in there, but you certainly can if you want to. It is going to use 4.5 tablespoons of flour. I have about a teaspoon of salt, 1/8 a teaspoon of white pepper, and 1/8 a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. That's what that red is in there. Then I'm going to add that to this. It's going to make a roux. Now this is going to be, it really has a little too much butter in it to make a good roux. So it's going to kind of turn into lumps, but that's okay. It's going to kind of brown this flour. But when I put that half and half in here, it's going to get better. If you just want to add more butter, like the same amount of butter as flour, it won't do this. It'll make more of a paste instead of a dry. But that's alright. This works. And I used to get a whisk. Where is, oh, this will work. This is one. Maybe that one will work. I know my main whisk is dirty, so I'm looking for another whisk. Here we go. I want one like that. I don't know if that one will work or not. Okay, so let me stir my noodles here. See, it's just to go into town over here. Look at that. This is so good. There you go. Alright, how much more time that got? 3 seconds. Alright. Okay, so now my half and half is warmed. You don't have to warm it. It's just faster. Pour it in. Turn it on about medium-high here, but you're going to have to watch it and stir it. Now, I didn't pour it all in yet, because I don't want to make a mess. I'm going to start whisking it to try to get the lumps out. Usually, by the time it boils most of the lumps out. So, there's my half and half. Now, we just got to wait for this to boil. And I see I'm sloshing it. That's why I didn't want to do that. Trying not to slosh it, but I'm sloshing. Ooh, and that, alright. That thing boiling is hitting me with the boiling water. Just being mean. Alright, there we go. Stirring and letting it come to a boil. Now, after that comes to a boil, I am going to add 3/4 cup of this Parmesan cheese. I like to buy this in the store. This is one like Publix. They shred it and they put it for sale like this. And then I put it in the freezer. It never goes bad. And you don't really even have to thaw it. You take it out and it thaws like in a few minutes. It thaws really fast. I think because it's shredded. So, and you don't have to be that exact with this either. You know, about 3/4 of a cup. There you go. I have that ready. Then I'm going to do the sour cream is also going to be, oh, get back here. 3/4 of a cup. Okay, that means my noodles are done. So I'm going to drain the noodles. I got a strainer here in the sink. Here. This is very exciting. I know you want to watch. Okay, pick up my pan. Stay away from the steam. Or I guess you could give yourself a facial. Strain the noodles. I'm just going to leave that there because I don't want them to dry out. Sometimes I put the lid on it. Okay, here we're back to this. Let's see what we're doing. We need to stir. Okay, there we go. Oh, see, it's bubbling. See the bubbles? Ooh, it's starting to bubble. That means, see, because I had that half and half warm, that means it's almost already ready. Doesn't take so long to boil. I kind of want to see. Do I have, no, see, there's a few lumps in there. Okay, so let's just keep doing this. It needs to, ooh, I am sloshing it so bad. It really needs to kind of boil. When it boils, it dissolves that flour. It's just butter and flour. That's what that is. Now I'm going to get sour cream ready. 3/4 of a cup. Let's see what I have over here. That's a 1/4 cup. Let's put this Parmesan cheese up because I already got that ready. Uh-oh. He wants to fall out of my freezer guy. Okay, so we're going to get, you know what'll be easier is to take a 1/4 cup out of this. Let's do that. Then I'll have, this is a cup of sour cream. Then I will have, you know, when you get sour cream and it's got all that water, it's really better if you don't pour that off because then you've got dry sour cream. It's better if you mix it. I discovered that and thought, oh, my sour cream is really like dry here. Just stir it to get that liquid back in it. You don't really want to pour it off. Because then it's the right consistency if you just mix it in. Ha ha ha. Alright, so now let's take out a 1/4 of a cup, then I'll have the right amount left. Okay, there we go. So there's our 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. Let me see what this is doing here again. Are you boiling more? Let me stir it some more. It's getting thicker. Oh yeah, so you don't want it to stick on the bottom. We're almost there. This one's pretty easy to fix because you don't have to bake it in the oven. Of course, the chicken you do to cook the chicken, unless you want to boil the chicken. Or you could buy a rotisserie chicken and pull the chicken off. However you want to get chicken, get the chicken. Okay, so this is getting thick. Look how thick that's getting, and that's just half and half. See, you don't even need the heavy cream. But when you add this sour cream, that will give it that real nice thick. And if you are using low-fat sour cream, this isn't as fattening. But boy, does it taste good. I don't think I would have known. And I don't like low-fat stuff. Ugh, no. But this, I wouldn't have known it's lower fat than the regular. How are we doing? See, I really don't think I have lumps anymore. Let's see. Oh yeah, don't. Little chunks of onion, which I want, but I don't have. Now let me get all this stuff out of the way here. I'm going to use this little thing again. This little cutting board. I'm going to use again. Because I got one more thing to put in there. This is, I do not believe this is traditional for Alfredo. This recipe calls for, and it comes in a jar. Oh, it's bubbling. It calls for a jar of roasted red bell peppers. But it calls for a, well, this would be about a 10-ounce jar. But this is actually, I can't find that. This is a 16-ounce jar. So roasted red bell peppers come in a jar. These are deli sliced. That means they're almost pretty much cut. Now you can totally leave those out if you want to. It's boiling now, so I'm going to turn it off. Then I'm going to add in, I'll get to the peppers in a minute. Add in, because this is ready, Parmesan cheese. Get that to melt. Oh, be quiet over there. It's answering me. Dun, 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 dun. Kind of stir it in, get the cheese to melt. Well, this recipe tells you to put some of it in and then sprinkle the rest on top. You can do that if you want. I don't like to do that. I like to do this. I want to go ahead and have it all in and have it melted. And then we're going to add our 3/4 cup of sour cream. Ooh. Again, this one's full fat sour cream. You can use the low fat. The recipe says low fat. I just didn't have low fat the first time I made it. And I liked this, so I stuck with it. So either full fat or low fat sour cream, whatever you want. Stir. Look how nice and thick this is. Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to go ahead. Oh, you can see the string on there? That's the cheese. Look at that. Oh, yeah, that's cheese. Now I'm going to add the chicken. Because I want the chicken. I'll put that in there. I'm trying to put that spoon. I want the chicken to be like coated in this. So I'm just going to put all the chicken in. Chicken pieces that I already had ready. Uh-oh. That I'm dropping on the floor. Oh, okay. Get back here, chicken. Yep, dropping them all over the floor. I guess I had too big a handful. Let's try that again. Throw that one away. Okay, here we go. Let's put my hand under it. Maybe that won't happen again. Okay, there's the chicken. Okay, there's all my chicken pieces. It's a lot of chicken. This recipe does use a lot of chicken. It's very high in chicken. Stir that in there. Get that all nice and coated. This way we don't have dry chicken. But you can see, chicken's like all disappeared. Now we got a lot of sauce. Then I'm going to take, let's move the handle out of the way. I have this turned off by now. Once it boils, turn it off. Because you don't want it to still be boiling when you add the sour cream. You don't want to curdle the sour cream. So here's my little cutting board again. And I'm going to take, you see that over there? Yep. This jar, let's see if I can open this jar. It's the thing about being by yourself. You don't have nobody to help open a jar. You just have to be able to do it by yourself or you don't get what's in the jar. That's fun. Okay, so I'm going to take about half of what's in here. You can use however much you want, or you can leave this out. This just adds some pretty good flavor. Now this has a bunch of black on it. You see that black? That's because they're roasted. And so that's like the roasted marks, I guess. So this will put little mysterious chunks of black in your stuff. So if that bothers you, like what's that black thing floating there, then don't put it in. See? Okay, see that? Yeah, there you go. It's roasted. The pieces, you know, for roasted pepper. Then I cut it smaller because these are long. See, look. Okay, I don't want to try to eat that. Too long. So I cut them in little pieces. This just adds some real good flavor. I really like it. And it's so simple. So then we got them pretty well chopped. We're going to dump those in. Ooh, they're messy. They're wet. Then that jar, you can, usually what I do with the rest of the jar is I take it out, put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it, because that jar will tell you, you've got to use it up within 2 weeks or they go bad. So unless you want to make this again in 2 weeks, put it in a little baggie and put it in the freezer. Or you could do something else with it, I guess. Alright, see there? Just adds a little color. Now, and it's not a whole lot. Just a little bit. Now that we have that, we are to our noodles. I'm going to take them over here. Got them in my, ooh, that's hot. I got them in my strainer. I was going to dump them in. And then comes the fun job. You know what? This is really too big for this bowl. This because I made more than I usually make. So, I'm not going to make a big mess with this. We're transferring it to that bowl. Hopefully I won't make a big mess. There we go. There we go. Usually it fits in this pan, but I only make 2/3 of this amount normally. Okay, I'm going to scrape that out in a minute. For now, I'm going to try to stir all these noodles into the sauce, and the sauce into the noodles. And it'll kind of all separate as you do it. This is so good. Oh, so good. And look how fast. It was pretty fast. I mean, other than you have to take time to cook the chicken, but you know, put it in the oven and go away. Then go back. But once it's time to cook it and mix it up, it doesn't take, well, let's see, I put that in the thing for 45 minutes. It's been like 23 minutes. So this took me about 20 minutes to make. That's a pretty quick dinner, not counting the chicken cooking time. There you go. Chicken linguine Alfredo. Oh, it's so good. Ready for dinner after church tomorrow. So then in 20 minutes, we will have cobbler. Let's see what our cobbler's doing. Here, we'll look at the cobbler. Here is the oven. I gotta unplug it. Hold on, there we go. Boy, you can tell the oven screen's dirty with this, can't you? Here. There you go. See, he's puffing. Ooh, he's gonna be good. He's nowhere near brown. 20 more minutes. Let's see here. There we go. Hello. Okay, so there is a yummy dinner for tomorrow. Chicken linguine Alfredo and peach cobbler that's halfway done. So I will maybe post a picture. I'll post a picture of the peach cobbler later when it is done. And I'm going to try not to eat it tomorrow. And I hope you all have a good evening tonight. And hopefully we'll make it to church tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow. Good night.